Hey, how's it going? It's hurricane season right now. I'm working a little bit. It's raining, and we're doing this one with no notes, which usually I'll have a Google Doc and I'll have sort of a bunch of things I want to cover, but I just kind of have a general idea. And that is this wanting or I don't know if it's like yearning, but I get times when I miss being a degenerate. I'll think about, which sounds weird, but, I'll think about middle school and even high school, right, where I had zero priorities and I was just living out of my messy room. I've talked about before, I was very online. I was just eating the shittiest foods. I just wasn't ever cleaning my room. I was just playing games for, 10 hours a day, if I didn't have school, or even if I did have school, I would just stay up all night and play video games. And obviously now, as an adult, as a grown man, I can't really do that anymore, or at least sustainably. I always see people on, TikTok or Twitter talking about, being unemployed and stuff like that. And it's hard not to roll my eyes because I do get a little bit jealous, especially when I see it from people my age. And it's like, I would love to do that. Unfortunately, I have a car payment. I have priorities that are set in stone, and I can't just drop it all without ruining a significant time period in my life. I think that eye rolling that I do and the judgment that I give people who are unemployed or maybe don't have as many priorities as me is a little bit of jealousy. I can't lie. I have, friends that are unemployed, and, you see videos of, like, Japanese NEETs or whatever, like hikikomoris, people that are just living out of their parents' basement that just play, like, JRPGs and multiplayer MMOs all day. And there's a part of me that just wishes I could return to that. Because that used to be me. I used to play TF2 for 100 hours every 2 weeks. When you check on Steam and it says how many hours you've played in the last 2 weeks, that would be in the hundreds the majority of the time. All of my friends were online for the most part. And, at the time that was, Skype or Xbox Live. Discord was just sort of becoming a thing. And that's where my friends were. That's where my life was. Now, if I were to really go back and think about my life at that time, it was fucking awful. I had all of these family issues. I was miserable. I was just gross. I was musky. My hair was always greasy. I was eating like shit. I was feeling like shit. It was not a great time. And I have genuinely made so much progress. And I, in a lot of ways, am very proud of myself. And I take pride in how I've been able to change myself and to grow as a person. But I just get these times when, I'm so busy or when, I want to crawl back into my hole. Recently, I've been playing Final Fantasy 16, and I've never played Final Fantasy before. It's the first game I ever played. I just got a PS5 for Astro Bot, and I'm sort of delving into, a lot of these games I've never been able to experience before because I haven't had a PlayStation. And, as I'm playing Final Fantasy 16 and it's becoming my new hyperfixation, I just ordered an art book, I'm listening to the soundtrack, and I'm sort of experiencing this world. I wish I just had all of that free time to just put my life into this art form. And now I'm not able to do that. I have to go to work, I have to go to school, I have to hang out with people, I have to maintain my relationships. And it's funny because when I was in that sort of when I was locked in my room, I wanted the exact opposite. I would see people in big friend groups, people with jobs that I wanted, people doing well in school, and I was so envious of them. I was so jealous, and I find myself in this position where I'm never really happy, or I'm always looking for something else. I'm never really complacent where I am. It's kind of like when it's winter, you wish it was hot, and when it's summer, you wish it was cold. It's sort of like that in a way. Like I said in a video a while ago, now I have a car, but I miss when I was biking. I was biking in the trails to my friend's house. I miss when I kind of only had a couple of games to play. Now with my own disposable income, I can buy a million games, but I'm not really putting as much time into that one game I got, for Christmas or for my birthday. Am I better off now? Yeah, definitely. In a lot of ways, but I still yearn for that sort of degenerate lifestyle. Just drinking nothing but soda and just playing Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, Minecraft, whatever it is. I remember when Far Cry 5 came out, I was just in my room, I was watching Twitch streams and playing that game nonstop for like a week. And I don't know why, but I still just think about that time a lot, and I just kind of like, man, I was miserable, but I also had no idea how kind of almost good I had it, that I had almost nothing to worry about but just indulge myself in, I mean, what was my hobbies? You know, video games, you know, online media, whether it's Twitch streams or YouTubers. Now as I'm looking around my room, I have shelves full of video games. I have plushies, figures, books, posters, multiple consoles, all this stuff. Like right now, I'm so engrossed in my hobbies, but I almost don't have the time to really indulge myself. And I'm sure part of this is also just linked to, you know, wanting to be a kid again, which is a feeling everybody has. Everyone, I think, probably misses being a kid. And I'm sure it is part of that, but there is this specific type of lifestyle that I think I used to lead that was not great, but for some reason I, just wish I could be a loser, a smelly loser, sitting in my messy room, just completely consumed by a video game, which used to be my life every single day. If I think back on a lot of my most formative memories, it has to do from that time. It has to be the people that I met online, the games I was playing, the stories that I was taking in, the art I was consuming, the music and the soundtracks that I was listening to, even content creators or whatever you want to call them that I was watching at that time had such a significant impact on my life that it's hard to sort of just throw that stuff away. Kind of like what I was talking about in my other video. These memories that aren't, really that positive, but really formed who I am today. It's kind of hard to let that stuff go, and I find myself now, when I'm in a much better and much more stable spot, thinking back on those times. I mentioned earlier, I'm playing through Final Fantasy 16, and that is the whole reason I'm making this video, because I wish I just had nothing but time to just sink into this game and experience this art that I'm witnessing, but instead I have to take care of my other priorities. After I'm done recording this, I'm not even going to make a thumbnail. I'm not going to do anything like that like I usually do. I'm just going to play that game, and I'm going to go to work, and then I'm going to get home from work. I'm going to continue playing the game. I got a Monster energy drink in the fridge. I'm going to try to emulate that lifestyle as much as I can, but I have other stuff in the way that prevents me from doing that. Stuff that kind of keeps me on track. Stuff that's good for me. As much as I don't want to go to work, I got to get money to pay off my car. I got to make that phone payment. I got to go to school to, I don't know, whatever. I have priorities and things that I got to do to keep me in line. But there's a part of me that wishes I didn't have that. There's part of me that wishes my life was a little bit more messy. And it's, I don't know, it's weird. I mean, maybe it's not weird. Maybe people are watching this and they're just like, yeah, man, you probably just wish you were a kid again. And that probably is the majority of it. But I don't know, when I see sort of these idealized versions of, like, I don't really use Pinterest, but sometimes when I do, I'll go on it, and there's the specific type of boards and photos that I like to look at where I assume a lot of time it's like Japanese guys showing off like their rooms and their setups, and it's just these like walls of manga and video games, and in the middle of it is just their computer, which usually doesn't even have like a chair or anything like that. You can tell that like this is just their life. And I'm sure that that is a very idealized version of reality, and there's, it's not really like that and all this type of stuff, but I see that stuff and it sort of reminds me of how I used to live. And while, like I said earlier, that lifestyle is definitely degenerate, yeah, I don't know. There's a part of me that wishes I could still kind of live like that, and unfortunately, I can't. But, I don't know. I got Twitter and stuff in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, and, yeah, see you guys.